Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Friday, November the 1st. Yeah, November. Brand new month. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and happy to welcome back friend of the show, former defenseman with the Detroit Red Wings, the struggling Detroit Red Wings right now, Danny DeKaiser. Maybe they need double D back on the team. Maybe that's going to be the answer at this point.
I don't know. They got to mix it up a little bit. We'll see.
We will see. We will talk the Red Wings a little bit, get Danny's thoughts on what's going on with them. Even though they didn't play last night. We've got a game about to start in a few minutes. We talked about it. I previewed it up, teed it up on yesterday's show, Florida-Dallas, this Finnish showcase in Tampa. That's how you say it, by the way. Tampa, Finland there in Nokia Arena, with the Stars and the Panthers. I went a little nuts on the Finnish players here as far as the props. I mean, I really like Hintz and Barkov, and I saw a point parlay for Hintz and Barkov, the two marquee Finnish players in this game at plus 180. You know, I thought that was a pretty damn good price just to get a point. They don't even have to score, just 1 point. Goal or assist doesn't matter. I thought that was great. I did sprinkle on the goal parlay with those two. It was almost 11-1. So I thought, but I went a little overboard because I'm betting Anton Lundell and E2 Kuhlman Luostarinen, two more Finnish players from Florida to get a goal and an assist. I even took the Esa Lundells and Nico Mikolas of the world, you know, who don't do much offensively. They're Finnish-born defensemen, though, for their respective teams, and I even took a shot there. So great game, you know, two great teams. Looking forward to watching that as we do this show. But first, we'll recap Thursday night, rapid-fire fashion here. It was a busy Thursday night slate. Pittsburgh, unfortunately, with the 2-1 win in overtime, we took a shot with the Anaheim Ducks as an underdog there, fading Pittsburgh at that. It was still a crazy price. I mean, if you're good on you if you took Pittsburgh minus 180. You were sweating your balls off right till the end in that game, you know, needing overtime and needing 2 goals from Sidney Crosby to get the win. He played great, carried Pittsburgh to victory. Dostal, tough luck loss. He played great again. But Pittsburgh did play well. They did outplay Anaheim. They did deserve the win 2-1 last night. Philly with also a 2-1 win against the slumping St. Louis Blues. First time this year, the Flyers have put 2 wins in a row together. So we'll see if John Tortorella's team can get going. Very nice win for Toronto, 4-1 over Seattle. Solid night. The Pacioretty, Nylander, and Tavares line that Craig Berube's recently put together was excellent again. Matthew Nyes scores on that top line with Marner and Matthews. He was terrific. Very cool empty net goal scored by Austin Matthews in that game as well. Like he was at the pool hall, you know, a little cue shot there off the boards. Geometrically played, as Doc Emmerich would say. That was a really nice empty netter. Very creative for Toronto to get the 4-1 win there. Montreal, Washington, I took a shot with the Habs. Well, we got the team total. They got to 3 goals over 2.5. But Washington just pulled away in the third period. And the Capitals, man, 7-2. How about this start to the year that they have had? 6-3. Spencer Carberry, coaching matters. He's a good one. And the Capitals keep playing well. Connor McMichael, another goal for him last night. A nice 6-3 effort. Unfortunately, the Canadians have a nice offensive team. Lots of talent, good power play, but they have come unglued defensively on more than one occasion. So that's concerning moving forward. Marty St. Louis trying to fix that. Speaking of trying to fix things, the Boston Bruins need some fixing. That was an absolute debacle last night. 8-2. They get blown out by Carolina. I think Jim Montgomery felt a little defensive in the post-game press conference, you know, and a little pressure is starting to mount on him. Jimmy Murphy, who knows this Bruins team well, was with us yesterday. He thinks that Jim Montgomery, if things continue to go this way, his job might be in jeopardy, and he may not last through Thanksgiving if it keeps going, even though he's a guy that's put together great regular seasons with Boston the last 2 years. And if you listen to Jim after the loss last night to Carolina, he's kind of saying, well, last 2 years, we've had these great regular seasons. We've been phenomenal out of the gate. We've done so many great things. And then we've obviously fallen early in the playoffs. It's almost like he's defending his record. Like, I know we suck right now, but I'm not the issue. We've had good seasons under my leadership. Don't you dare even think about getting rid of me. I think that's kind of what he was intimating a little bit. with what he was saying after that game. Look at what we did the last 2 years. We've been this awesome regular season team. Calm down, everybody. It's going to be okay. It's kind of what it sounded like listening to Jim Montgomery last night, but alarming stuff for the Boston. They look old and slow, and they're turning the puck over, and they're getting hemmed in the defensive zone just far too much. Credit to Edmonton, 5-1 win against Nashville. No Connor McDavid, first game without him. Typical angle, everyone steps up, and they sure did that. Leon Draisaitl, what did Nashville do to Leon Draisaitl? Did they, murder one of his family members in another life? Like, what did they do? Did they harass somebody, like, in his family? Like, what has caused Leon Draisaitl to just dominate Nashville the way he does? He's got 27 goals in 28 games now against Nashville. That's insane. That's not a point per game pace. That's a goal per game pace. Absolutely spectacular. He's just dominant over this hockey team, and he gets 2 goals. And Victor Arvidsson gets a goal for Edmonton, too, against his old team. A nice 5-1 win for the Oilers. And I know Alex was frustrated in the late night hours. 3-2 San Jose holds on for the victory, and I was pissed. No goals in the third. That game stayed under. Oh, my gosh. Heartbreaker for those on the over there. But 3-2 San Jose gets the win. The only good thing about the ending for Chicago is I love listening to Rick Ball when the net is empty and the extra attacker is on. He calls that sequence with the extra attacker in a 1-goal game late as good as it gets. His cadence is listening to in that situation. But unfortunately, couldn't get Chicago home to the win column. They lose 3-2 to San Jose. Alex, your thoughts on last night?
Yeah, like I said, that was a tough loss for the Hawks. They had ample chances in the third and just throughout that game to generate offense. And this has become, like I said, a maddening thing because you look at how well the Hawks did against Colorado. Granted, that team is in a world of disarray with all kinds of injuries and issues. But for the fact that the Hawks, we know they can put together 4 or 5 goals, and they did that against Colorado, but then they come in and lay an offensive egg against the San Jose team. I mean, they're getting hot on their own, right? That was their 3rd win in a row. Will Smith, talk about guys stepping up in the absence of a player, Macklin Celebrini being out. They needed another guy to step up and score. Will Smith coming in with a pair of goals. He's been starting to heat up now. In Macklin's absence. So that's a young team, but the Hawks, I mean, I get it. They're a young rebuilding team too, but they should be a little bit ahead of San Jose. Should be a little bit ahead of some of these other teams that you've been rebuilding with the last couple of years. And it's just an inexcusable game to not come away with even a single point. And that's the reason why I bet the draw. I figured this would be a tight, close game. These two teams have played each other fairly tight in recent meetings. It's just inexcusable. You have to have better strategy, better offensive setup when you have a 6-on-4 situation and you called your timeout and you got about 2 minutes left in the game. You got to have better looks and better shot quality and better shot chances than what you generated late in that game. And then Boston, Carolina, obviously was the big game for us. Following the system, cashes once again. But like you mentioned about
the system play. Unbelievable, this system play. Danny now knows about it, too, because I've told him about it. Team off a shutout loss. It's incredible. It's now 15-2 to the first period over. It's now 12-4-1 to the full game over. Yeah. Teams off a shutout loss after last night. And 2-0, obviously, last night. First period and full game over cashed in that Boston-Carolina game with the Bruins off a shutout loss. And don't stay tuned. We've got another system play on the card tonight.
Yep. We got one tonight, and there's one already lined up for tomorrow too. So it's something to behold. But when I watched that game and watching some of the body language of Jim Montgomery, it definitely seems like he knows his job is on the line, and that seat's getting hotter and hotter by every goal.
He's defending his record last night after that game.
Yeah. So just looking at his face and his body, and that was the first thing it made me think of was, should I be looking for him to be the first coach fired right now? That's kind of had my head spinning and rolling toward that market. So that might be something to look into. If this losing continues, he could be the first of all.
It's possible. There's already a lot of coaches feeling the pressure, and we're only 1 month into the season. Danny, your thoughts on last night? Anything that stuck out to you?
I mean, nothing crazy, but, to go back and touch on Boston, they've been so good the last couple of regular seasons. I mean, maybe they're just trying to flip it around and just sneak into the playoffs and be that, be the team that just gets in and comes in hot. I don't know.
Maybe they're pacing themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they're pacing themselves, but yeah, we'll see. But it's funny. Like you said, Montgomery, almost defending himself last night, but hey, I mean, you can't get it done in the playoffs like they haven't the last couple of years when you go in as a high seed and then you start to struggle early in the season, then people start to question things a little bit. So I think that's something interesting, and you keep monitoring that as we go.
Yeah, definitely it is, no doubt. Matt Robinson in the chat, I know he's excited. He's creaming his pants right now about this Finland showcase here, Florida and Dallas. I know he's excited. You can tell he is absolutely. He's a big Dallas Stars fan, of course, Matt. But I'm excited too. This is a great friggin' hockey game. I'm looking forward to it. Two teams that could be in the Stanley Cup final, if you really think about it. We know the Panthers are repeat champs. Dallas has been right there, so looking forward to it. Danny, we've got to talk Detroit Red Wings here. This is a team that, I had concerns, and I know in our Red Wings preview, you were with us and Jason Williams as well for that. We had concerns defensively, and those concerns have come to the forefront. They're having trouble in their own end. I don't know, Mo Seider, I've seen him, I don't know, there's getting beat to the net on a couple of these goals. Not playing at the level we think he's capable of, just breakdowns, losing coverage in the defensive zones happening a lot, not clearing the front of the net. The goaltending, I think Lyon's been solid, and then Husso and Talbot have been all over the map. But I think even at times their offense has been disappointing. Like I expected certainly some of these Detroit Red Wings to be very strong for them offensively, and we just haven't seen that consistently. I don't want to say put it all on Patrick Kane, but he's been quiet. I think for them, at least Dylan Larkin, we've seen him the last few games play pretty well. But there's a lot of players. Lucas Raymond, I'm waiting for Lucas Raymond here. Where is he? Can't find him with a telescope right now on the ice for the Detroit Red Wings. Danny, what's your thoughts on these struggling Red Wings and how can they turn it around?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. Kane has, I think, two goals, maybe three at the most. Raymond's got one, you know what I mean? And sometimes, you sign those big deals and guys grip the stick a little bit tighter, and, Seider and Raymond come in on those big deals and, expecting to just come in and just put up points and kind of have your way out on the ice. And that's not always how it goes. Guys key in on you. You're getting the top matchups this year. Seider's getting the matchups against first lines. They split up Seider from Sherratt, which I thought they were, fairly solid. They got Edmondson playing with Seider now. So, he's a young kid. This is his first full season, or it's going to be his first full season, and he's learning his ways. He's a heck of a talent, and but hardest thing to do in the NHL is to defend as a young player coming in trying to put up points. You come in there, you're trying to add offense, jump into play when you can, find those holes to get pucks to the net. Whereas sometimes you lose, those defensive habits, or it's just not, the first thing you're thinking about on there when you're coming up. You want to rise and shine and score some goals and put up points. So I think Lyon has been really good. I was at the Winnipeg game there the other night, and that obviously it turned into bit of a bloodbath, but on some of these nights where he's letting up more goals like that, and he really didn't get a ton of help defensively and team defense. I'm not just talking about the defensive structure in their zone and all that. Forwards got to help out a little bit as well. So I think Lyon's been solid. Talbot's been a little bit here and there, and I think they're missing pieces from last year. Like I mentioned to you guys earlier, like you lose Gostisbehere, you lose Fabry, you lose Perron. Sprong, who was playing, 8 minutes a night, scoring a bunch of goals. Like that's a lot of firepower and leadership that you lose there. So they're transitioning. They just traded Mata the other day, make room for Edward Johansson on the back end there a little bit more as well. So we'll see. It'll be coming in this year. We had a lot of question marks, and this is kind of maybe what we thought might be happening.
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing too, right? There's a bit of a clash from almost the traditional way of things, have been done in Detroit, right? Like there's a lot of homegrown talent over the years, yourself included. Now that you have a whole flush of what's been the last, let's say 3-5 years of where there's been these, free agents to come in, like you mentioned, guys like the David Perrons, currently now guys like Patrick Kane and Cam Talbot, bringing in to try to bring in those older veterans to mix in with the younger core that's been drafted and developed through Grand Rapids. And it seems like maybe there's a chemistry mismatch. Maybe the veterans aren't, necessarily clicking or getting through to some of these young guys. Maybe they're not meshing well with the coaching. Like, do you think that, maybe bringing in some of the outside talent is kind of rocking the boat that's been kind of the MO there in the Motor City for the last, couple decades?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible for sure. Anytime you're bringing in guys, you never really know how they're going to fit in. But I always thought, in today's game and in the game 10 years ago, you got to have a good mix of vets with the younger players. You saw how many years Edmonton had all their higher top picks and all that, and then you just let them loose out there. And yeah, maybe they put up a bunch of points, but they got 40 points as a team on a year or something like that. So you got to have that good blend of vets and young players as well. So, I mean, yeah, maybe there is a little, just not jiving well or something like that on the ice and not figuring guys out. So hopefully, we'll see. The Atlantic's fairly wide open, especially the bottom half of the Atlantic. I mean, Boston's in last place. You got Ottawa there who's playing a little bit better as of late. Detroit, and then you got Florida, Tampa, Toronto at the top. Kind of they've been a staple there for years now. But the Atlantic, I think, is pretty wide open, and there's room. The Wings are 4 and 5. It's not like they're 2 and 7 right now or something like that. So there is still time to figure things out.
Yeah, they're 4 and 6. It's the sky is not falling yet, Danny. You're 100% right. We're a month into the year. There's lots of time, and there's no doubt they've got time to address things. Here I am crapping on and ragging on Lucas Raymond. He does actually have 10. He's actually leading the team in points. It's the goal scoring that hasn't been there. He's got actually 9 assists so far. 10 points, 1 goal, 9 assists. So it's been playmaking for sure. He's been setting up his teammates, which is good to see. But again,
score a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. You want more from Patrick Kane, too. Only 2 goals for him. Vlad Tarasenko, another one of those veterans they brought in that Alex mentioned, and he's only got 2 goals. He's stuck on 2, only 3 points so far. So, like I said, even their offense has been underwhelming. Yep.
That's the biggest thing too with Kane. More consistency. That's something that we've seen from him now, even toward the end of his tenure. We understood in Chicago and then the New York thing that he wasn't playing at full health. Now he's been fully healthy. He's had over a year under his belt. The consistency just doesn't seem to be there. He'll have a night where he can get a goal and assist, and all of a sudden he has a night where he's not even taking a shot at all. You can't have that from Patrick Kane because he's not going to give you that making up for that defensively. He's not going to start blocking shots and back checking all of a sudden. That's not his game. So he's got to have his game rolling. He's got to be offensive. And I'm hoping that that's not an issue, too. Like I said, being that he's a veteran, yes, lead by example, but don't expect Patrick Kane to become a two-way player overnight just because he's 36 years old. Like, you still have to have him be a top-line forward who can score you goals because that's what he does best. I hope then that Lalonde and company aren't trying to mesh and squash these veterans like a Tarasenko and Kane who are top-line scoring forwards into all-purpose players just because of the veteran presence in the locker room.
Right.
It's a good point. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds with Detroit. By the way, we have a goal. First minute of this Florida-Dallas game. 1-0 Panther. There we go. We'll get the Panther sound out there. Yeah, Evan Rodriguez gets the goal. But more importantly, from our prop standpoint, Barkov gets an assist, and we're on over 1.5 points, over 2.5 points with Barkov. We got a lot of Barkov hints, Heiskanen props, lots in this game. Let's just put it mildly here. We got involved pretty not heavily because they're all smaller bets, but volume-wise, definitely heavier volume, but smaller bets, like I say. But definitely if some of them hit, like if we hit a couple of these over 1.5, over 2.5 points props, it's going to be profitable. All you need to do is hit a couple of them, win a couple of them, and it'll be profit. Danny, did you get involved in anything here with the Panthers and Stars that just started?
Yeah, I jumped on the Barkov and Hintz picks there. So I just saw, like you mentioned, Barkov had the assist on that first goal. So good start. Just 2 minutes into the game. So hey, the more the merrier, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I said, that was what I really liked the most. That's the one I probably put the most on. There's the parlay with Hintz, just Hintz and Barkov, both of them to get a point, which was like plus 180, which I thought was really a good look there as far as this game.
For a goal as well, so we'll see.
I believe Matt Robinson told me too that specifically those two guys, Barkov and Hintz, are from Tampere, that specific town as well, not just from Finland. So even more reason, and plus they're actually the marquee players from Finland on either of these teams, Hintz and Barkov. Heiskanen's right there though as well with that. No doubt. So 1-0 Panthers early in the first period there. All right, let's get into some Friday night action here. We've got Ottawa Senators, New York Rangers. Rangers minus 190, home favorites, 6.5 the total here in this game. See if the Rangers bounce back. Obviously, they are coming off a setback against the Washington Capitals, the surprising Washington Capitals. It was one of those instances where playoff revenge did come through. Doesn't always, but Washington first meeting with the Rangers since losing to them in the first round, getting swept by them in the first round, and the Capitals won 5-3 the other night. And the Rangers were dominated. Okay, this was not just, Washington fluked their way into victory. No, they outshot the Rangers 45-19. I mean, they completely controlled this game. It was probably one of the worst performances, one of the worst efforts the Rangers have had this season. And if you listen to Peter Laviolette after the game, he concurred, maybe our worst game of the year. So you'd expect the Rangers to be a lot better back home tonight against the Ottawa Senators, who didn't have a very good road trip. They lost 2 out of 3 on that road trip last weekend, but they bounced back strong at home, facing St. Louis. 8-1 against the Blues. And now they're back on the road here tonight, taking on the Rangers at Madison Square Garden, facing a Rangers team that probably brings it here in this one, looking to bounce back. Certainly after giving up 5 goals, that's not something you see very easily from Igor Shesterkin. That being said, he did face a lot of rubber, actually 4 goals. The 5th was an empty netter. I worry that the Rangers are going to tighten things up a little bit after giving up 5 goals to the Capitals the other night. So that would concern me. But, with these two teams, the Sens and the Rangers, we are talking about teams that are combined 14-4 this season to the first period over. They've been very strong, 2 of the stronger first period over teams. So I still like first period over, a little sprint smaller on the full game over, but I really like that first period over. And especially with the Rangers, the one thing we could see from the Rangers is come out strong, firing after that 5-3 loss to the Washington Capitals the other night, and looking for a response quickly in the first 20 minutes of this game. Looks like as far as the goaltending situation tonight, it's going to be Igor Shesterkin right back in between the pipes. Likely Linus Ullmark for Ottawa, although it hasn't been confirmed yet currently. But over by Fekta I do like a little bit more, though, the first period over that I prefer the most. Alex, what do you think here? Senators, Rangers.
Yeah, just first period looks for me. I like that first period over 1.5. You get -130 now at FanDuel. We've seen this number actually come down. This was $1.40, $1.45 about a couple hours ago. So money coming in on that under. Like I said, and I think people are kind of predicating that off of, like I said, when the Rangers have a bit of a rough night defensively. Bettors are expecting them to come back and play a better game at that end of the ice. I think we still see goals early. So I like both teams to score plus 165. I bet that pregame as well. If you're seeing a book and your first period over is higher than 140, wait and grab it in game at a cheaper price. I like those looks a little bit more than the full game over at that 6.5. So that's something I'll probably be looking for in a live look now. I'll get everything first period in now. Look for that over 6.5 to kind of drop early and then try to grab a 6. Or hopefully even grab a 5.5, laying some juice.
Yeah, I have nothing on the side. Like, to me, the Rangers, they'll probably bounce back and win. I don't like betting against the Rangers off a loss. They'll probably win, but -190 is not a price I like all that much. What do you think here, Danny, with Ottawa and New York?
I like how Ottawa's been playing lately. I feel like they've been scoring a lot of goals. After the first few nights for them, it seems like things have kind of opened up a bit. So I like the first period over. The total, that total at 6.5, with the Rangers coming off of that loss in Washington is a little dicey for me. So I'll probably just stick with you guys on that first period over. But I do think the Rangers win. I just think that they'll probably tighten things up a bit, and Shesterkin will probably be better because it's rare for him to have back-to-back outings where he's letting in a lot of goals.
Yeah, and right back to him goes Peter Laviolette, as you would probably expect here going into this game tonight. As far as the prop market goes for the New York Rangers, Capo Caco has 5 points in the last 4 games. Will Cooley is the one that, to me, has got some value. Will Cooley has been scoring lately for the New York Rangers. It's definitely some solid value with him. When you look at the Senators, Claude Giroux, he's turned back time here. 5 goals, 6 assists in the last 7 games for him. Drake Batherson's been very consistent all year. So those are the 2 Senators that definitely they could be live here tonight as far as scoring and finding the back of the net for Ottawa. All right, New York Islanders and Buffalo Sabres. We've got even money, -110 both sides, 5.5 the total in this game. This has been an ugly week here for the New York Islanders because the last couple of games, they played Anaheim and Columbus. We don't expect either of those teams to be in the playoffs, although I think we've seen pockets of improvement from both the Ducks and the Blue Jackets this season. But to score just one goal in those two games combined, there's some issues right now with the New York Islanders. 3 losses in a row now, 1-4 in their last 5 games. I don't want to say that this is for sure fact, but all the rumors and speculation is that there's already some clashing of heads behind the scenes between Lou Lamoriello and Patrick Waugh, that already the head coach GM relationship is getting a little contentious as far as player personnel decisions, lineup decisions, that kind of thing. Not surprised. Those are 2 very strong personalities. Lou has always been that way, and we obviously know Patrick Waugh is that way. So to see maybe some discontent at times with those 2 individuals doesn't shock me. Is that affecting the team negatively on the ice? I don't know, but one thing's for sure, the Islanders aren't playing great right now. And now word comes down that Matt Barzal is going to miss time, upper body injury for the New York Islanders. So with already Anthony Duclair out and a team that scored just 1 goal in their last 2 games, that's not exactly what you want to hear right now for the Islanders. So trying times for them. We'll see if they can pull their way out of this rut, this funk that they're in. 3 straight losses. Now, of course, Barzal sidelined. Doesn't make things any easier for the Islanders to try to bump this slump. It looks like as far as the goaltending tonight, Islanders, Sabres, Ilya Sorokin back in net for the Islanders. Devin Levi will get the call here tonight for the Buffalo Sabres in this game. It continues to be back and forth between him and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Levi, 3.79 goals against, 894 save percentage. Still not great numbers when he has been in between the pipes here for the Buffalo Sabres. Sorokin, his numbers are very good. 1.8, 932 save percentage, 1.8 goals against. So he has been pretty solid. But Buffalo is scoring goals lately, and credit to them during this run that they've been on. 3-1 their last 4 games. They were held down by the champs in their last game, the Florida Panthers, but they had scored 4+ goals in 6 straight games before that 5-2 loss to the Florida Panthers. We'll see if they can keep that rolling here. This is truly, now everyone knows that's been watching this show, this is the system play. New York Islanders off a shutout loss. This has been 15-2 first period over, 12-4-1 full game over, and I'm betting it. You have to. It's been that good. First period over 1.5 minus 112, and full game over 5.5 minus 110 for me in this game. But there is some trepidation with this one. The Islanders just lost Barzal, team already struggling to score, and 6 straight unders head-to-head between the Islanders and the Sabres, believe it or not. So we're going against some strong series history trending to the under between these 2 teams. 6 straight have gone under. And we're going against, obviously, an Islanders team that hasn't put the puck in the net here in these last 2 games with the system play. But the system play usurps and supersedes everything else. Regardless of struggles with the Islanders scoring, 6 straight unders with these 2 teams head-to-head. The system has been that bloody good. You just have to rock with it. You have to roll with it. And that's what I'm doing here. Islanders, Sabres, first period over. Islanders, Sabres, full game over. And give me Buffalo here at even money, minus 110. I haven't bet Buffalo much this year, but they are the team that's in better form right now. The Islanders, I don't like what I'm seeing on the ice, hearing off the ice. And look at the series history here as far as the games in Buffalo. The Sabres have beaten the Islanders 6 straight times in Buffalo. It's been pretty crazy. Islanders haven't won here in a very long time. Buffalo, the last 6 times they've hosted the Islanders, they have won. So they're in better form right now. I like Buffalo money line here as well. Alex, Islanders, Sabres.
Yeah, it's the interesting game. It's the game of the night. Honestly, I feel like, and like I said, obviously we're riding the system play. Like you mentioned, the system's buck trends. When you're going with the system play in motion, this is when it's truly automatic. Where when we talk about things like first period overs or any kind of things that we kind of follow along with the Chris Otto charts and so forth, those are trends. We kind of adjust and attack, and you can still adjust and attack with these too. For example, I haven't been betting every full game over in the system. I've been rolling with every first period over.
Barkov goal, 2-0 Panthers. Barkov,
wow,
what a shot!
There you go.
Yeah.
two points, goal and assist already for
Yep.
kid going back home. Just good stuff. But yeah, so you have so saying, but yeah, wait. So with the first period overs, of course, we've made adjustments with grabbing some of these in game when we see these higher prices. But obviously, $1.15, we're betting that pregame. 5.5 in a reasonable price. We're betting that pregame as well. But betting these a little bit smaller just because of the trend. That's the thing. You don't have to just go roll with the system. You doesn't have to be automatic with your unit size. It's just the system and the structure itself that we roll with on an auto basis. So I have half units on each of those, and I also do have a little bit of Buffalo as well, -110, like I said, just off of the series history. Staying away from the draw, even though Islanders are involved. I think this might be a game that could wrap up in regulation. So definitely liking the over by Fecta with the system, but have a little bit of Buffalo money line pocket as well.
Like the Islanders can't even use the bounce back spot to their advantage. You could say, well, the Islanders are desperate, right? Sense of urgency off 3 straight losses. Well, Buffalo's off a loss too against Florida on Monday night. They've had 3 days off. I like that. They haven't played since Monday night. So rested. Expect great energy here from the Sabres tonight. Danny, what are you liking here in this game? Islanders, Sabres.
Well, I mean, I'll be staying away from this game, but if I were betting, I would be going with the trend, like you guys said on that first period over. I'm not sold on the total going over 5.5. I mean, you look at the Islanders; they've scored 22 goals this year, tied for last with Anaheim. So nobody's scored less goals than these guys. Yep. I watched them play the Wings, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. This was the game that the Wings won 1-0 with 10 shots. And it was like watching a soccer game. There was no chances. It was just puck was going in the zone. It was coming out, going in the other zone.
A lot of neutral zone play. I agree.
Yeah. There was nothing happening. I was like, oh my God, this is a tough game to watch. But I like Buffalo. I like teams that have 3 days rest, like you mentioned, and they've been playing better as of late. They've been scoring goals too. And my pick would just be going with Buffalo and riding them. But I like to stay away from the Islanders right now.
Yeah, this is going to be the ultimate test. This system play has been phenomenal, absolutely amazing. This is going to be the ultimate test of it because I'm not as bullish on this tonight because this Islanders team, the way they're scuffling right now to put the puck in the net. But you got to ride with it when it's 15-2, first period over, 12-4-1, full game over. You got to bet it. And like I said, and you're actually getting, good value. You're only getting -112 at in a couple books here with that first period over, and -110 to -115 with the full game over now at 5.5 in this game. So it's definitely value in the number, and the reason for that obviously is the Islanders. They've been struggling. Obviously, to score goals. As far as look, it's hard to bet Islander props right now. I keep saying Holmstrom and Siplikov, but man, we've been waiting for several games for them to pop on the top 2 lines, and they haven't yet for this team. For the Buffalo Sabres, Peterka's obviously had a very good start to the year for them. He's probably worth a look as far as goal props for the Sabres. You look at the rest of this team as far as their numbers. Tage Thompson, look, credit to him, 12 points in 10 games, 7 goals. He's had a much better start to the year. There's no question. Like I said, Peterka's got 4 goals for this team. Ryan McLeod's worth a shot. He's already got 4 goals in 10 games coming over from Edmonton. So we'll see how it goes. Bailey might be onto something about Anders Lee, and he is the captain. Like if someone's going to put their, foot down and say, hey, we're not letting this losing streak continue, maybe Anders Lee is that guy to step up tonight for the New York Islanders. All right, we got Winnipeg and Columbus. Winnipeg opened a -190 road favorite. They are now like a -150 road favorite at most places, 6.5 the total. Tons of money pouring in on Columbus, hand over fist. And there is a reason for that. There will be no Connor Hellebuck in net tonight for the Winnipeg Jets. Eric Comrie will get the start for the Jets in this game. And I guess a lot of people see that as an open door now for the Jackets to be live to win this game and maybe score some goals. That being said, Comrie is 2-0. Won both of his starts, 6-3 over Pittsburgh, 5-3 over Calgary. Now, he did get some run support, to steal a baseball term, in those 2 victories. His numbers are only 3 goals against even, .915 save percentage, but he is 2-0. But again, Winnipeg has scored a lot of goals in support of Eric Comrie in those 2 starts. So we'll see if that continues. I don't mind. I definitely don't mind taking a shot with Columbus, but now at the price, +130, a lot of the value is gone. I like the team total, though, for Columbus. I think that's the safer route. Columbus team total over 2.5. You can get that at around minus 145, minus 150. I don't know about win the game because, look, and Alex and Danny, you can talk about this in a sec too. This Winnipeg team's on fire offensively. Like, I have not seen the Jets play this well on offense in a long time. They were always a decent team offensively, but I don't think I've seen a start to the year like this from them offensively. I mean, they're scoring at least 4 goals in every game lately. You know, it's been now 7 straight games, guys, for the Winnipeg Jets where they've scored at least 4 goals. Their power play, they've scored 5 power play goals in the last 3 games. Who thought Winnipeg, coming into the season, Winnipeg would have one of the best power plays in the NHL? You know, but that's where we are right now. Connor, Scheifele, Ehlers, Perfetti, Velarde. I mean, they are getting contributions from everyone. I like over 6 in this game as well with the Jets and the Blue Jackets because of this offensive onslaught they've had this year. They've actually been trending over the total lately, and now you've go to Comrie and net as well for them. I think we got a chance to see this game get up and over the total. Monahan is definitely a player prop to target here for Columbus. He has had a tremendous start to the year, playing with great emotion, intensity, and wearing his heart on his sleeve, if you will, to kind of pay homage to his best friend Johnny Gaudreau, obviously. I definitely think he's playing for Johnny this year. There's no doubt with the effort we're seeing from Sean Monahan so far. It's definitely been impressive. So no argument here with maybe looking at a Monahan goal prop either. Alex, what do you think here, Winnipeg, Columbus?
Yeah, I just mentioned Tyler Seguin got a kind of crazy hop off of back
2-1.
of Bobrovsky. It's 2-1. Yeah, so Dallas cutting that lead in half in the first period. But this is a game I'm passing. And like I said, Winnipeg, obviously, going with Eric Comrie, not really the night to be laying $1.50 with them. But the fact, like I said, they've been giving him goal support. And this team's been hot. And then, they picked up right where they left off after losing that game, that win against Detroit. That was a big sign for them, showing that, hey, we're a serious team, and we're not gonna let that one loss just kind of completely derail us right now. So this is a game I'm staying away from. I don't like backing the Jackets at this short of a dog, even at home, and not really trying to back Comrie and the Jets here. So it's a pass.
All right, Danny, what do you think here? Jets, Blue Jackets.
So I'm with Alex here. I wouldn't be taking a team in this. I'd be looking at that total. I think the over is it 6.5?
It was 6. I think, did it jump up?
No,
6.5 now. It did move up.
But I like both these teams scoring goals. I watched Winnipeg just come into Detroit on Wednesday, and they just their power play was looking good. They had all kinds of chances. They were making plays.
Movements look good on it too.
Yeah, their puck movement looks good. I mean, they're making plays in the O-zone. They just look like a team that has some good offensive firepower, and they do. And I think Columbus can score goals sometimes too. And I'd be looking at the over.
There we go. Good stuff there. All right, Tampa Bay, Minnesota. We'll break down this game, and then we'll do rapid fire. Last game, best bet, bargain bin from Danny, and then we'll let him run because he's got to go in a few minutes. Tampa Bay, Minnesota. We've got even money, minus 110 both sides, 6 the total in this game. I'm going to keep this short. I think it's a tricky spot for Minnesota. Very long, very successful road trip. Emotional night beating Pittsburgh, the final game. Marc-Andre Fleury rally the troops around him as they should because he's such a great guy. And obviously he's had a tremendous career. They rallied around him. Big win against Pittsburgh. Big win because of what the emotion of the night meant to Marc-Andre Fleury. Now you come home after that. Tampa Bay lost to Minnesota just recently at home. So I think they'll be looking to bounce back and avenge that. I know they won in Minnesota last year when they made the trip to XL Energy Center, the Lightning, 4-1. Just for me, straightforward, Tampa Bay money line here at even money, minus 110. I like the spot. Minnesota off a long road trip. Emotional night for Marc-Andre Fleury. Tampa's starting to play better on the road, too. They actually have a winning road record so far this year. Nice win for them, albeit Colorado beaten up and battered and injury decimated, but still a nice win for them the other night in Colorado. I like the Lightning here, minus 110. Vasilevsky and Gustafsson, by the way, confirmed as the goalies tonight. Alex, Tampa Bay, Minnesota.
I bet the draw here. I got plus 360. We've seen it drop now to plus 345, to plus 350. Still bettable at those prices, but I think, like I said, it's kind of the same thing. While coming home off of a very successful home trip, Lightning playing better at road, a little bit of revenge. I think this game could be kind of a back and forth battle. So I think there's time to actually grab a better price on Lightning in game, but I will have them circle. I could see them getting the win out of this, but definitely think it goes past 60 minutes here.
And as far as goal props here, Marco Rossi, Nick Paul, my favorite on either side. Rossi obviously has been really good so far this year for the Minnesota Wild. Danny, anything you're liking here in this matchup? Tampa Bay, Minnesota.
I'm going with the over here. I think it's, Tampa Bay scored, I think, almost 40 goals. And, you guys mentioned Minnesota coming back off that road trip. I think things might get a little bit loosey-goosey for them after that. And I mean, how about Tampa Bay? Here they are 7-3, towards the top of the Atlantic again without Stamkos this year. Everyone's waiting for the big drop off. And yeah, they're not the team that they were 3 or 4 years ago, but they can still light the lamp. They got they got Point, you got Kucherov, you got guys who can score. So their power play always dangerous on the power play, regardless of statistics. So I'm just going with the over here.
I mean, and I could never say don't bet Nikita Kucherov props. I mean, this is insane. He's on this pace again. I didn't think he was going to be able to replicate last year. 17 points in 10 games for Nikita Kucherov already. 9 goals, 8 assists. Cirelli and Hagel have 12 points. How about the great start both of them have had? Jake Gensel as a point per game, 11 points in 10 games. Braden Point, 11 points in 10 games. The new captain, Victor Hedman, has 9 points in 10 games. So they're getting contributions from everybody. Like I said, Nick Paul's got 9 points in 10 games and 3 goals. So everybody is chipping in for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And, their offense looks fine to me, at least so far. There's no question. And the blue line was the concern. And, you're seeing a lot of them step up too. I got to admit, Lilleberg and Radish and all these guys on the blue line have really stepped up, played solid for them. And that's been a key for them in their early season success. All right, Danny's going to run in a couple of minutes, so we'll get to the last game with him. New Jersey, Calgary, Devils minus 180 road favorites, 6.5 the total. Oh, regression is a bitch. And it is starting to hit Calgary now. After that strong start, they've now lost 4 in a row, and that blue line that looked so mediocre on paper coming into the season, and suddenly they were playing good, keeping the puck out early in the year, Danny. They're not keeping it out anymore. They are giving up goals in bunches lately and starting to look like the blue line I thought they might have coming into the year. So what do you think here, New Jersey, Calgary?
Yeah, I mean, I like New Jersey in this game, but the minus 180 there is kind of a buzzkill. So I'm probably staying away from this one. I would look at the over, but I'm not sold on that either. If I were betting, I would look into that over, but I'm staying away. I like Devils in the over.
Now, I'll get to this in a moment. I like the Devils, but in a different way, which I will get to. Team total. I'll spill the beans. Team total is what I like. Over 3.5. They're scoring goals again. 6-0 over Vancouver. Calgary's given up goals, so I just prefer the team total here with the New Jersey Devils. We're not going to hold you to it, Danny, but if you don't have one, but if you do, a bargain bin special of the night, a prop that you like of plus 300 odds or better. Is there anything you like? Or you could just mention a name and I'll see if it's that price.
Someone in the chat mentioned Adam Gaudette. I don't hate it. Anytime
That's
goal.
a good call. He's been terrific for Ottawa.
Yeah. I don't know the odds on that, but they got to be pretty high. So
plus 900. Oh yeah, they're bargain bin worthy.
Take a peek at that. Don't sleep on Gaudette. He can fire the biscuit.
He can. There's been a little resurgence because he's been toiling away in the American Hockey League. The last couple. I know when he was with the Leafs for a bit, he was mostly a Marlies player for them in the American Hockey League. But now getting this,
a few bucks, never know.
Yep.
What happens.
I like it. He has been a pleasant surprise and given the Ottawa Senators a little extra offensively. So there you go, Adam Gaudette. Plus 900, Ottawa Senators, bargain bin special of the night for Danny DeKaiser. And last but not least, Danny, best bet. What are you liking here tonight for best bet?
Best bet, I'm going to go, we'll stick with that Islanders Sabres game. And we'll go with the Sabres. We'll go with the over, team total over for Buffalo.
All right, team total over for the Buffalo Sabres tonight against the New York. And I like Buffalo to win that game. For me, there's a lot of things that concern me right now about the Islanders. I'm hearing some troubling things off the ice. Like I said, this Wah-Lou dynamic is not exactly going smoothly at the moment. Buffalo team total over 3, and we know they've struggled on the ice. So Sabres team total over 3 is what we can give for Danny here with this one, minus 105 for his best bet. This has been a blast, Danny. Anytime you want to join us on the show, the door is always open. But thanks for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your Friday, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Take care.
Good stuff. There he is, Danny DeKaiser. Back with us here on the Ice Guys show once again. We will circle back now, Alex and I, to look at the last two. I think Tampa Bay, Minnesota. We were talking about. Oh, we already did.
Just finished
right?
that. We finished that.
Tampa Bay, Minnesota.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mention though. I do like Ryan Hardman. He's coming back in the lineup. He's gonna be in the fourth line. I like him. The goal scoring prop. He is bargain bin price at plus 260, but that's not my bargain bin play. So.
All right, there we go. Good stuff there. All right, next up we've got New Jersey and Calgary. New Jersey minus 180 road favorite, 6.5 the total here in this game. It looks like as far as the goaltending, by the way, it's going to be Dan Vladar for Calgary. It probably will be Jacob Markstrom for New Jersey against his old team. You would think Sheldon Keefe would start him, no doubt about it. I expect it to be him because they don't play till Monday. They play Edmonton on Monday, New Jersey. So they're off till Monday. I expect Sheldon Keefe to roll with Markstrom against his old team. Now, it could be one of two things, maybe a little jittery playing back in Calgary, or he just shuts the door like he did his other former team, Vancouver, the other night when he shut down the Canucks and shut them out 6-0. Like I said, I don't want to worry about what Markstrom does or what Calgary does offensively. What I want to target, Alex, is that the regression train defensively has hit Calgary. I knew this blue line wasn't that great. I mean, the way they were playing, I couldn't believe it early in the year. When they were winning, they're holding teams to 1 goal. I mean, that's not what I expected from this Calgary team. Well, sure enough, during this 4-game losing streak, 4 goals allowed to Carolina, 5 to Winnipeg, 5 to Vegas, 5 to Utah. So all of a sudden, this is a Calgary team that right now is struggling to keep the puck out of the net. They've given up at least 4 goals in each of their last 4 games, and that's why I like the Devils team total here. Over 3.5, around minus 120 is the price you can get with that. Alex, Devils and Flames.
I was hoping that this would be Markstrom and Wolf going at it and have a bit of a duel. But even with Vladar, I still like the draw here at plus 390. And I think, it's, like I said, it could be a higher scoring affair. So I'm looking for those, the over by fact, the first period and full game live. I think we can wait a little bit and get some time. And I know that usually it's funny because we talk about Jacob Markstrom returning to Calgary, where we're normally not waiting on the first period overs. We're betting them early because he would give up the first shot of the game. I think he's seemed to have fixed that. But like I said, being back in that barn, could I'm sure they're gonna do a little tribute video and all those different things. I could see some goals early, so we will be keying in for the totals live. But we do have the draw pregame at plus 390 at FanDuel.
All right, plus 390 for Alex with the draw with the Devils and the Flames. Of course, the Devils and the Flames, there's been a lot of close games, multiple 1-goal games. They did go to overtime a couple of years ago in Calgary, so we'll see if there's potentially more than 60 minutes on the horizon for the Devils and the Flames tonight. Nico Hischier's, ridiculous, just incredible production from him lately for the New Jersey Devils. The captain has certainly stepped up for them. I still say Dawson Mercer has value. He finally got on the scoreboard playing with Hischier and Meyer on that top line. He scored a goal against Vancouver the other night. So Dawson Mercer, to me, still has value. Stefan Nason, Matt is probably watching the game. He left the chat, but I'm sure he might be interested certainly in Stefan Nason for the New Jersey Devils. He's been obviously very solid this year for them. No question about that. And then for the Calgary Flames, there are still a couple I'm interested in. Matt Coronado is going to move to the second line, back in the lineup, and playing with Backlund and Coleman for Calgary on the second line. So that's certainly an opportunity for him to make an impact offensively. Anything's possible. Martin Pospisil and Zary are now flanking Nazem Kadri, it looks like, on the top line. So both of them have some value. Sharon Govich has been dropped to the third line there, Cuban Wayne Gretzky. I just want to point that out. Not saying he can't score, not saying he can't be capable, but now he's down the lineup a bit. But he is with Huberdeau and Kuzmenko. That looks to be the third line for Calgary for Sharon Govich down there. And those are offensive players he's playing with. So you can still maybe take a chance if you like Sharon Govich there tonight to find the back of the net. Did Lundell get that goal? Florida just made it 3-1. I think it was. Another one there. He took his
plus
goal.
375.
These Finns, man.
Nice.
What happened to the? Well, there weren't many Czechs in the Buffalo, New Jersey series. There really weren't many. other than Palat. Palat was the biggest, highest profile Czechia-born player in that Sabres-Devils series. So that there wasn't the opportunity in those two games to back the hometown, the home country players like there is in this game here. So, like I said, definitely. Hey, Cheshire Cat. Holy shit. We wondered where the hell he's been. Look at that. Welcome back. Oh, my gosh. Good to see you. Good to see him back in the chat, Cheshire Cat. We were starting to get a little concerned, but good to see you. Good to have you with us in the chat. All right. Great stuff. Danny DeKaiser, awesome guest. Thanks to him for joining us. Hit the like button. 320 live viewers watching right now on YouTube. And as always, you can always, of course, get on board at patreon.com/iceguys, just $10 per month. And we appreciate those that are subscribed and signed up. Sign-ups have been incredible here in the month of October with the season starting up again, but we always want to keep growing it. Again, you get all the exclusive content, all the bonus goalie charts, totals charts, stats. We're going to obviously have the daily betting card every day, sides, totals, and player props. I basically posted pretty much all player props I had in this Finland-Dallas game, or Florida-Dallas game in Finland earlier on the Patreon page. So, we're heavily invested with props in this game right now, and it's off to a good start. So patreon.com/iceguys, just $10 per month. And again, your subscription goes a long way to keeping the show rolling long term. Patreon.com/iceguys, just $10 per month. The pace, by the way, in this first period has been off the charts. I mean, they're not leaving anything in the tank here in this opening period in this Florida-Dallas game. That is for sure. Great hockey here in the first 20 minutes. So make sure you sign up, patreon.com/iceguys, just $10 per month.
Yeah, absolutely. And then after the show and after an during intermission, of course, of this Florida-Dallas game, check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. Today, Saturday and Sunday, 3 days left to get free standard shipping on all your orders. We've got the Draw Season and Islanders merch back in stock. We've got some of the Christmas stuff already ready. I know it's November 1st, but, it's around the corner. So we've got everything that's in stock right now. Check it out. 3 days left. Free standard shipping right now at the Ice Guys store. That's over at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
Yeah, make sure you check that out. No question about that. And like I said, Florida looks great. But not that Dallas looks terrible, but Florida just looks really, really, really good. I mean, boy, when they have it going, man, they're tough. They are really, really tough. By the way, noon Eastern is the second of the two games in Finland with Florida-Dallas. We'll be just starting the show tomorrow at that time, so we'll probably just briefly talk about it tomorrow. But I will say right now for Florida-Dallas for tomorrow, if Dallas goes on to lose this game, and there's 2 periods left. This game's not over by any stretch of the imagination. But if Dallas does lose this game, I might be interested in Dallas tomorrow in the rematch. We'll see. Doesn't mean I'll bet it. It's like Florida's got it going right now after that bad loss. Ever since they lost to Minnesota, and they were pissed about it, they've kicked it into overdrive, Florida, ever since then. But I would lean to the losing team of this game in the rematch tomorrow. So I'd lean Dallas. We'll see. But just a quick thought on that game. Any quick thought on the rematch tomorrow as of now, Alex?
Like I said, that'd probably be the closest thing we look at. Be maybe looking at backing whoever loses this one. But like I said, I tried at maybe looking at some of these props again. He said that the native son props, if you will, it might be something to kind of cash in on. The momentum can certainly carry from one game to the next in a 2-game set like this.
And is there something to the team that gets to that country where the games are being played earlier, gets in a little more fun and leisure like Dallas did? Because they got there on Saturday, like Buffalo did against New Jersey. Buffalo went 0-2 in the games against New Jersey.
That might be the angle to start looking for then. Yeah, which team gets there earlier, gets a little more settled in. It's not so much business. They get kind of acclimated and get a little too comfortable sometimes. So,
yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah, there's a lot of people. I mean, people are just trying to really get under Matt Robinson's skin with this stars are overrated as fuck talk in the chat right now.
Of course,
I don't think he's in the chat at the moment, so I don't think he'll be seeing it at the moment. But nevertheless, like I said, long way to go. There's still 2 periods left. Can't wait to watch the rest of this game for sure once we finish the show. But shout out to everyone in the chat. Again, hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. And a reminder, of course, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday, and moving forward, the shows are at noon Eastern. All right, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Ice Guys shows noon Eastern. will be the start time. All right, we've got bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up in just a moment, right after we hear from our great Ice Guys sponsors.
Support for the Ice Guys podcast is provided by Boston Hemp Incorporated, Manscaped, Power Play Sportsbook, Raise Your Game, Tailgater Social, and a big thank you to all that subscribe to the Ice Guys Patreon page. Everyone loves a perfect pair. Bacon and eggs. Thunder and lightning. Mario and Luigi. A hot dog with fries. Ian and Alex B. That's right. Everyone loves a perfect pair. So why not pair up your game nights with Boston Hemp? From exotic flower to concentrates and edible products. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better pairing than Boston Hemp and hockey. Check them out today at bostonhempinc.com. That's bostonhempinc.com. Boston Hemp Incorporated, the official smoke sponsor of the Ice Guys. Void where prohibited by law. Not available outside of the United States. Must be 21 or over to obtain products. Check your local regulations to see if Boston Hemp is available in your area.
All right, shout out to all our great Ice Guys sponsors, including, of course, Boston Hemp Inc., our daily sponsor and official sponsor of the Betcasts as well. BostonHempInc.com, 20% off using the promo code IceGuys. There he is, Real Deal Prime. You're late. I mean, the reason I bring that up is because, of course, he's Sabre fanatic. The one day we all like Buffalo, and he missed it when we were talking the Islanders-Sabres game. He missed it. All of us giving Buffalo the nod here tonight in this game against the New York Islanders. But good to see, of course, Real Deal Prime in the chat. And I like the profile pic, though. Rick Jenneret, rest in peace. Like I said, that was the real sad day for me, the day we lost Rick Jenneret. All right, we've got bargain bin special of the night. Danny DeKeyser, I like his bargain bin special, Alex. Adam Gaudette, Ottawa Senators, plus 900, and he's been a very big surprise as far as offense this season for the Ottawa Senators. He's a guy that made the team on a player tryout, PTO, out of training camp. And here he is this season with 4 goals in 8 games, playing on a bottom 6 forward role as well. So Adam Gaudette plus 900 for Danny with his bargain bin special with Ottawa. Alex, what do you like tonight from the bargain bin?
Well, hopefully he can get the second goal of the game, because somebody else I like getting the first goal of the game. That's for the New York Rangers. That'd be Chris Kreider. You can get that at FanDuel right now at plus 1,200. Like Chris Kreider, Mr. Tippmann himself, to find the first goal of this contest with Ottawa and the New York Rangers tonight. That's my bargain bin special.
All right, there we go. Bargain bin special also from the Senators and the Rangers game for Alex P. Smith tonight. All right, my bargain bin special of the night. Just a couple of decent options out there, a couple of decent choices. But for me, I think for bargain bin special of the night, hoping that he can continue to ramp things up. He got on the board versus Vancouver in the 6-0 win on the top line. Going to get chances, I believe, with Hischier and with Meyer. And obviously a Calgary team that is all of a sudden hemorrhaging goals allowed in the last 4 games. Let's go Dawson Mercer, New Jersey Devils, plus 344. The best price out there at Pinnacle. So Dawson Mercer, New Jersey Devils for my bargain bin special of the night. All right, best bets. Alex, what do you like here for best bet?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. 15-2 to the first period over involving the system play. We're rolling with it tonight. Buffalo, New York Islanders, first period over 1.5. You get minus $1.16 with that over at FanDuel. That is my best bet for this Friday night.
All right, there you go. I like it. New York Islanders, Buffalo Sabres, over 1.5, minus 112 first period. Best bet for Alex B. Smith. Keep in mind, the Islanders, I know they've had trouble scoring, and I know Barzal is out now, and makes things, you would think, worse. But Edmonton did score 5 goals last night, first game without Connor McDavid. This is where you got to demand everyone step up collectively for the Islanders tonight to get you out of this offensive funk. And we will see if the collective can do that tonight for the Islanders against Buffalo. My best bet for this card, I am going to go with that Tampa Bay side, minus 110 against Minnesota. I like the way this sets up. They lost to Minnesota at home just recently. The Wild are back home after that very successful, great road trip. I think it's a bit of a tricky spot, especially with the Marc-Andre Fleury emotion of the other night. And look, I've cashed several tickets with Minnesota. I was on Minnesota against Pittsburgh. I took Minnesota against Tampa. I took Minnesota against Florida. Minnesota rewarded me on that road trip. But now's the time, I think, to go against them here tonight. Tampa won in Minnesota last year. I think they will do so again tonight. Tampa Bay Lightning, minus 110 for my best bet here for this Friday NHL card. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Appreciate you joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. And again, great show. And Danny DeKaiser, we thank him for joining us earlier in the show as well. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Tuesday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, noon Eastern. And if you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast if you can't watch the show live. Alex, do you have a live betting lean in this Florida-Dallas game before we head out?
Nope, just going to watch it, let it roll.
There you go. Same with me. I mean, we're already well invested, and we already have a small piece of the over by Facta as well in this game. So, I'm not adding on any more than that. But looking forward to the rest of this game. For Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Friday night. Enjoy the games and good luck, and we will be back with you tomorrow on Saturday for another edition of the Ice Guys.